record the car start because I didn't think it was going to start, but it started the first try because I actually disconnected the battery this time. There's a whole freaking pond in there. The drain hole's not working. She is dirty. Let this thing warm up for a bit and then show you what we got going for today. So we got a couple new cars in the group. These ones aren't actually ours, but just some other friends. Got pretty much a bone stock, super clean 2GA GST. And then another one of our buddies who has a DSM, some other stuff, ended up getting this. And this thing's super clean, super stock, 2GB Talon. Pretty good. We're doing a tank to rail kit for it, and check this out. This is what I thought was the coolest thing. The tech that checked it in '97 dated it, so pretty cool. All stock. But yeah, it's just another car for more content, pretty much. But the real reason we're doing this video is because I want to put these parts on. Fat Boy Racing Billet. See if I can do this one hand. Billet shifter for our car. This one's like the good medium for the chassis. Pretty much the low money one is like the eBay short shifter junk or the B&N, which the B&N is what I have in the GST right now. And then the expensive one is the KDN one, which is like over $2 grand. Has like hydraulic cables and everything from the boost in performance. This one is made by Fat Boy Racing. They're a company out of Malaysia. They do a lot of CNC stuff and they make parts for all sorts of cars, but they just started doing early Evo stuff and DSM stuff. So that's pretty exciting. I think this one with the lockout is like 950 bucks. Versus, you know, over $2 grand for the boosted one. Then you can get the B&N shifters for anywhere from like 100 to 300 bucks. So I got it on Black Friday, so it was 100 bucks off with the lockout. So I gotta pull the pin and stuff on that, but yeah, this thing's a nice piece. I wish I was cool enough to do cinematics. I would totally show it off, but I'm not that good. So yeah, I'm gonna try to walk through installing this with you guys. I don't know if anybody's made a video yet. All my buddies that already have it said it was kind of a pain in the butt to get all adjusted and everything, but we'll see how it goes and see how long it takes. All right, so to start off with, I guess we'll take this as a comparison reference. This is the B&N. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth. The throw's actually not bad at all. This shifter feels a million times better than the stock one did. So it's actually a nice piece if you're only trying to spend, you know, 100, 200 bucks. But we'll compare that to the next one and see how much notchier and tighter and everything that it feels. If I remember how to take this apart, it's fairly simple. Don't mind the dirty car. It hasn't really done anything since the track, but there should, on the side of your center console on the back, just move the seats forward, there should be 2 screws or bolts here, whatever your car has after 20 years. So I'll undo those 2. And then in the center console here, you just pull up on this. Try not to lose everything in it. There should be 2 more right here. And then for the centerpiece, you pull out on this. And then there should be 2 more here, which I'm not running those ones. I don't think you need to pull the side panels off to get this out. Then obviously you got to undo your shift knob to slide your boot up over it, and then the whole thing just kind of pops off after that. It's loud, Dave's trying to do ball joints on his lower ball joints on his truck, but once you pull out all the hardware, literally just pull up on this thing and it should all come out. And then there's 2 or 3 plugs here on the back of your cigarette lighter, and there's also technically there might be a light bulb stuck in that centerpiece, or no, it's right here. If yours still has the light bulb attached, there's the wire, it's just not plugged in on mine. Alright, so center console's out. I removed this panel to see if it kind of gave me any more access. Doesn't, I mean, it might end up helping further down the road. For now, I'm going to detach the cables. So there's like a little C-clip here, a little cotter pin here, and then so I'll pull these out, pop these off of the assembly, pop these clips up. So these are kind of not the funnest all the time. I like to just take like a flathead or something, maybe a pry bar, but you basically put it in the wedge here and then twist it, and it'll usually break them free, but I might have to use, oh, there we go. So you get that, and then you get the little itty bitty crack in there, and then you can shove your screwdriver back in the hole, then pry it again. So that's usually the easiest way to do these clips. Make sure to keep these because I think you're going to reuse them to put the cables back on. Not even going to insert this because, yeah, so oh, I just dropped it, it's right there. But yeah, so do that. Now undo your cotter pins. It'll take 10 minutes trying to do it one-handed and get a horrible angle for you guys, but that cotter pin out, so this one's off. Push that a little bit forward, boom, that cable's loose from here. These clips, they kind of shoot off flying sometimes. There we go, pop that out. Same thing with this cable, forward, out and up. So those cables are done. So now I'm going to keep this hardware, so I'm probably gonna sell this to my brother or somebody, or just keep it for probably another DSM that I'm gonna buy someday, even though I tell myself I won't. Now it's just the 4 shifter plate bolts, so 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all 12 mils. Just do that, pop this out, and then I'm gonna kind of wipe this down, and then we'll put the billet bracket in again to kind of just show you. The cables are going to be different. I think you're going to have to remove like the battery, the tray, all that, because they kind of go like that through the firewall. So we'll have to do this here, undo it on transmission, which is pretty easy. It's like another, just more clips, and the bracket has 12 mil bolts. Can't remember right now. I think it's clips like this too on the bracket, so it'll just be like that on the other side. All right, so cable's undone, undid the 4 12 mil bolts, and we're just gonna kind of try to shimmy this thing out. Looks like my wires are kind of connected, a little clamp things. All right, should be good now. Cool. So that's out. You can actually do a lot to your stock car for cheap. Like, you can get these bushings, solid aluminum bushings. I have another video where I installed those into the GSX. So you do that with the B&N. Then somebody, I forget, you'd have to probably go on Facebook or find it on Tuners, but there's like these plastic copper bushing kits for your actual linkage on the transmission. And then if you want to spend 500 bucks, which kind of is irrelevant if you can get a shifter for 900, but there's also a billet bracket that bolts to the transmission that holds the cable mount. So there's a handful of little things you can do to tighten it all up. I just think the new shifter is going to be the icing on the cake, especially with everything else. Kind of sucks, it's pouring rain right now. I'm just getting wet, but the garage is taken up and stuff. So yeah, I'm probably just going to talk you guys through the under the hood thing, because I'm definitely not trying to record and hold the hood and do everything all at the same time. So I'll try my best to kind of show you how it works and explain it. That way, if you get yourself caught up, hopefully I can answer your question. My car does have like no EGR stuff. I think the battery bracket might even be a little deleted, so there might be some things that you don't or do run into that I might not, vice versa. But yeah, I'll talk you through that, and then let's see if we can get these cables coming through the firewall. All right, so again, your guys' stuff may be a little different, but the cables come out right down in there. Your battery removes, your tray, depending on how stock your car is, should have like 2 bolts here, a bolt here, maybe 1 back there, so 4 or so on the back. And then There's one under here and one under there, so they're kind of like, sorry, I don't know if you can see that. There's one under this bracket and one inside that. They're kind of hard to get to, but you undo those, they're also 12s. Pull that off, and then it opens up that entire corner, which in my other video, actually I don't know if I showed it in the video or not, but on GSX I relocated the battery, basically dropped it down here. Pretty much you just remove this, and like you flip the tray upside down and bend some tabs, and then, or you don't flip it upside down, but you like make some cuts, bend some tabs. Basically you can bolt it up to like that 12 mil where that line is, and then your battery sits way down, which kind of cleans up everything else. Your shifter cables are all kind of right in this area, so you may want to remove some intercooler piping or whatever. Again, it kind of depends on how clustered your stuff is. I'm just gonna work around it because I don't really want to undo the clamps right now, but I may end up having to anyways. But so yeah, undo those. I guess there is pins on the inside of the firewall too for your cables, so you might have to pull them in through the cabin, not actually out this way. So I'll let you know when I get to that point. Alright, so I super lied to you guys. They have to come in through the interior, which means you do have to remove the side panel. And if you can see back up in there, kind of where the harness routes, there's a bracket and there's two 12mm bolts. So you got to undo that bracket and then pull the cables this way. So recording under the dash and working on the dash, not going to go together. So I'll catch you guys when I pull these cables out. So due to the bracket right there being kind of big, I don't think it was going to make it through this hole. So I ended up pushing the cables up and then just pulling them out through the front side here. And then now I might have to go feed it from the engine bay side, but you should be able to pull the rest of it out through the floorboard there. So here's the bracket off of everything. Then it has like this grommet. I think I'm gonna try to use this grommet to a certain extent to here. It's pretty much pressed onto, not pressed, that's the wrong word. It's pretty tight around the cable. So what I'm probably gonna do is just make like a slit straight down so that it's not gonna be like super OEM-ish how it is now, but it'll be better than nothing. So basically like right here how there's like a slit, I'm pretty much gonna do that around the cable and then shove them around this. It does look like he added sleeves right here so that if they do kind of bounce around in the firewall, it's not really a big deal. But I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna see how it goes, and if it's just a pain in the butt, then I'm just not gonna use it. But yeah, I got the shifter all installed and set up, so this is what it looks like right now. I have my little makeshift ghetto shift boot on it that I did like 10 years ago. It feels good. It comes back on both sides. Hits all the gears pretty good. So let's see the whole kit. One, if it doesn't feel right, it's not adjusted right. So originally I could not get this to slap back in the middle, and it was for the cable that the outside cable on this side is the one that moves forward and backwards when you do this side to side. Anyways, that cable needed adjusted on the transmission in order to basically do the full throw. It was like not equal, the rod wasn't equal enough to like be able to slide back and forth freely basically. So finally got that taken care of. It hits all the gears and everything. What I had to do, so couple disappointing things with the kit, I should say, is this shift knob. I had to re-tap the entire threading of it. Basically all the threads that were machined that didn't already have a bolt in them were messed up, so I had to re-thread all the threads. They were like super burred out and stuff. So there's that. And then the base plate, the two front holes were a little bit off, so I actually had to drill them out like another size up so that I had the space. Other people said they didn't have that issue, so it could be my chassis, but I guess that's something else to take caution of. So just make sure you got a drill bit and a tap kit if you get it. Second thing is, like, it feels great. Like, it's super solid. It doesn't have like that crazy slop that like the factory stuff does. It feels like that's solid. Every click is super solid. Like, just everything about it's crisp, which is nice. But it is not a short shifter and is not notchy. So I was kind of hoping for the notchy short shifter-ish, like when I first seen it come to the market. I guess the KDN one is like that, but that's the one that's like twice the amount of money. And even the B&N one is, so that one's shorter and notchier than this is. But this is just a really nice, I want to almost call it like an OEM plus, right? Like, you could probably, well, one, like, I had a different shift knob, which nearly cut this in half, so that makes your throw shorter. You could probably chop the rod and even re-weld it, or figure, maybe machine a different one to make the throw shorter too. But yeah, it's not a short notchy short shifter. It's just like a really nice shifter, if that makes sense. So I guess if you're gonna buy one, go in it with the intent of just something that feels better, and isn't necessarily a short shifter. But the lockout does work really well. That did surprise me. Well, I guess not really surprised, but pleased me. Dave's got his towel now. We're gonna go grab a coffee here in a minute. Anyways, my phone keeps falling out of my pocket. Now he's being a ricer. Alright, so pretty much the way the lockout works is it is here, and it has like this little cotter pin in it, if you guys can see that. So you gotta pull up and then pull out the cotter pin. That does take 2 hands. I probably should have showed you guys this before the center console went on and the shift boot and stuff, but you hold it up and then put it in first, right? So it sits on this part of the machining right here for first, and when you go straight down to second, it drops into that part of the machine. I went to fourth because I was doing it weird-handed. But basically, yeah, so you just pull straight down to second, and then it drops in there, which prevents you from going to first. So you don't even have to go over. You literally just press straight up, and then fourth, it sits inside the gate too, so you just go straight back. So it's actually really fast and smooth to just go 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's like, you don't have to worry about any sided nothing. Kind of, I mean, just like a gated shifter, I guess, on like a Lambo or something. It is a 5th and reverse lockout too, so you do have to pull this up to go into those gears. And neutral, I mean, yeah, you gotta pull it up to go back in first. So I probably wouldn't run the lockout on the street. That's what the cotter pin's for. He did give me 2 cotter pins for that. So because I'm not going to run on the street, that's why I also have the boot. A lot of people don't have the boot, and it kind of just sits in there and shows them. But yeah, so overall, it is a solid piece, especially for, you know, $800-900 bucks. If you're racing, I would recommend the lockout. The lockout's an extra $100 for the kit, I think. But yeah, I guess I had just kind of overhyped myself, expecting it to be like a super notchy, like, I guess I'm comparing it to, I felt this really good shifter, I don't even know what it was, in an FRS, and it was like the craziest, shortest, just fucking notchy little thing. And I was like, damn, I wish our cars had that. And then I saw this come out and I was like, no way. So I hopped on it, but everybody else that has had it has had said really good reviews about it. So I guess I just overhyped myself on the short throw notchiness. It's not really that much of a short throw, but it's super solid unit. Everybody says they have the hardest part is adjusting it. I had all my gears off the hit, so like my initial adjustments were okay. I did have my buddy, kind of shout out to Scott, for giving me some pointers on his, because the kit comes with nothing. I'm pretty mechanically inclined, and some stuff just kind of had me stumped. I think I got the wrong bolts on some things. I don't think you can see it from here, but the side shifter down there, that bolt right there that's moving on the far right, I had to go to the hardware store and I basically bought like a cone washer and a shorter bolt in order to pretty much make that fit right, so there's that to take into consideration too. Pretty much it's not an easy just bolt on go thing. I believe I told you guys the cables had to come out through the inside, not the outside. I did not end up reusing that rubber grommet at this moment. I think I might reuse it. I kept it. I might just cut a slit in it and toss it over the cables. It definitely doesn't fit like super crazy OEM, but obviously that's not what it is. So but if you're worried about sealing up your chassis and stuff, I have like 3 massive holes in my firewall. I've got a hole back there that ripped out, so it's like my car's definitely not watertight, so it's not really a huge deal for me at the moment. But yeah, so with that saying, like I said, it feels really good. It's got a nice throw. It's super solid. It is the factory Mitsubishi thread for here, so you can run like whatever shift knob you want / already have in it. I've seen a thing online where some guy did actually fit the factory boot and everything over it, and he put the factory knob, so it looks stock. I guess on my judge of the kit, I'd probably say installation was probably like a 7 out of 10. A little difficult, not the most crazy thing, just kind of time consuming and making things work. Doing the cable adjustment and everything, I was kind of trying to shortcut it earlier in the video. I would definitely pull your battery and your intercooler pipe and make you feel 30 times better trying to get adjusted, because the nuts are huge. They're like a 22 or 24 mil, and it's in a really difficult place to try to squeeze everything. So just pull your piping, maybe pull your battery if you have it there. You could probably even pull the cables out without pulling the battery, but pull your piping for sure to show yourself the linkage on the transmission. As far as in here, this was all fairly easy. There's a handful of adjustment points. The bottom of the rod, there's a rod that goes up and down to shorten it or lengthen it. Another thing I forgot is when you do adjust it, you want your adjustments to, so in 4th gear, see if you guys will be able to see this, there is a gap right here in the back. Kind of feel like a doucher for having not. So this piece should have air right here, so it doesn't hit that, and it also doesn't hit the front. So in 3rd and 4th gear, and then that's pretty much, you can kind of see there's a little air gap in there. You want that right in the middle, and then that's going to be your best throw. And then obviously you want it to return, which, like I said, that other one. What I did is I kind of adjusted the rod, and then I had the whole cable bolted up down here on the transmission, and then so the outside linkage here is the inside linkage up there. So the driver's side on the transmission, it's the top one, basically goes forward and back, is actually the side to side one. But anyways, so I had it all adjusted here to where I liked it, and then I pretty much adjusted the cable so that the heim joint, the little eyelet, was almost dead even with the top bracket in neutral position, if that makes sense. And so before it was pushed forward, which is why it wasn't coming back. So basically get the cables all set up kind of in the middle if you can, and then make that heim joint equal to the pin, basically the dowel, and then make this one equal to the threaded hole. Then the other one's just a clip on the bottom, so that one's pretty easy. But yeah, I'm gonna go get some driving in with this thing. I did drive it around the block a little bit, but I haven't actually taken it down the street yet. But I'm gonna go get some coffees, hopefully get some pictures and some content. And I guess another real quick short thing is I finally fixed my side marker, and I put new quick release clips on because I ended up not getting this off my old bumper. So this side never even had them. I fixed that, and then I put these ones on too, so they're nice and shiny. But yeah, besides that, we're getting Dave's car running because it hasn't really driven it since we all went racing. But looks like it's on and idling. make some coffee and do some cruising. So that thing looks so sick rolling, dude. This is my outro, so I ended the video here. I'm probably gonna go try to get some more content today, go eat some lunch and stuff. But overall, I'd say my best advice on the shifter is if you want like a really good like feeling OEM shifter, go for that. I think that's my best way to describe it. It's definitely not a short shifter, but it's very smooth and has zero like play. Like it feels really solid, it feels really stout. So if you're not looking for a short shifter, definitely go that route. If you're looking for a short shifter, either just do the B&N and all your bushings, or spend the money on the KDN. I think that's the way to do it. But I know I did a pretty bad job at recording and installing and stuff too, but hopefully this video helped you guys, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned, catch the next video, see you later.